back?
All right, guys, we're back. Obviously, I've been gone for quite a while. I apologize. It happens, and life gets really and sometimes you don't want to sit and do a podcast where you have nothing nice to say and you're having mental breakdowns every day. So I am nice enough now. I posted to ask questions, which is going to be the Patreon is going to be more, back and forth with the followers, fans, whatever. I don't know, death threats, whatever you guys are today. But we saved some of the better questions, and I thought we'd start with these. What's causing the rampant mental illness among young women?
Mm.
I mean, probably the birth control, which is like literally making you suicidal. I was on it, did the same thing to me. Messing with your hormones, probably the food you're eating, which has hormones injected into it, the water, the lack of family, community, probably all the boyfriends you guys have because you listen to feminism, probably your job that makes you depressed, not enough sunlight, really, shitty food, not working out. I mean, it could be literally be like a million of the most simple things. I would say probably the birth control is a really huge one. That's going very mainstream right now. And it's funny because they're like gaslighting women. They're like, it's not the birth control that scientifically shows it makes you suicidal and ruins your life. It makes you attracted to the wrong partners. It's you. So that's funny. But they tried to do that to me when I was younger too. But I would say that's probably most of it.
I mean, you've mentioned before that, like, I guess how society is framed now that, women are sort of forced to, take on masculine roles, being that, like, a lot of them are forced to work, 9 to 5 jobs, 40 hours a week. Do you think it has something to do with that women are being put in a situation that they're like biologically and naturally like not supposed to be in? So that's kind of
Yeah, I mean,
as well.
women operate on a completely different clock. I'm not like a wellness expert. I'm very new in this world. So, obviously this is paraphrasing, but our biological clock or whatever you want to call it, we operate on like I think it's like a 24-day cycle compared to men are on a 24-hour cycle. So it's like, boom, 24 hours, they're a new person, they're ready to go and all these things. And it's like, we're not meant to do that. And you basically put us in these roles as like men. And when I was doing the podcast the other day with the OnlyFans girls, like they basically said like, you know, we don't want to go work every single day, 9 to 5, where we're treated like shit, we're miserable, we make shitty money. Meanwhile, I can go online and make 6 figures in 1 month. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're kind of putting these women in positions where like now they have to be providers and they have to do things they don't want to do. And then on top of doing that, you're also giving them like the easiest outs, which is like sex work now, which like any girl can do and make a ton of money. And, I think it's just propping them up to fail, honestly. I mean, like, whatever. Get your bag. I don't care to argue about this anymore. I don't do sex work. I'm not going to. Thank you for everyone asking the number I would have to get to sell out. It's so funny. It's not about the money. This is what bothers me so much is like every show I do, it's like, what's the number you'd have to make a month to do OnlyFans? It's like, it's not about the money. It's the fact that, first of all, I don't need the money. I'm fine. It's like, I want to walk into a room and like have respect and be able to demand it and like have something to be proud of. That's more important to me than getting a bag and making 6 figures. I understand to those girls, they probably don't really give a shit what people think about them and go online and show their pussies and do all these things. And it's probably like, whatever. But I do notice when I talk to them, they're so bitter towards men.
Interesting.
And it's like, well, what did you expect? You put yourself in a position to be like degraded by them. I can't imagine that like the fans on these websites are like, you're amazing. Have you ever read this book? It's super good. Do you want me to send it to you? Like, it's like, dude, what do you expect? You're dealing with the shittest, grossest men all day who degrade you. Whereas like, I don't have that experience because I get to deal with awesome men all day. So, but yeah, I'm like, the money's not worth it. Unless I'm not gonna lie. If it was like 100 million a month, then we'll circle back to that. But that's what I would say on that.
Then you'll start negotiating body parts or what?
Yeah, I was going to say, we're talking like 100 million a month. Like, what are we doing?
I'll show my left arm.
Yeah, are we doing feet? Like, what's going on here? So, I mean, that would be my answer to that. Will you ever run for president? No. Like I said, I don't want to be in politics. As soon as you're in politics, you're not really allowed to have free speech. There's very few people I see that I'm like, oh, this is like an honest person that's completely unfiltered. Because you like legally have to be filtered. You can't just say crazy shit.
And you represent too many people and too many interests
Yeah, I'd like to just represent
besides yours. Yeah.
my personal opinions and interests. Should raising the minimum wage be a thing if companies are put out of business? Well, that's my thing. It's like I don't believe in raising the minimum wage to $40. I mean, you're going to go through McDonald's and have to use Afterpay because it's going to be $47 for a cheeseburger. People don't.
I totally agree with that.
It's really crazy, and people are like, "Well, what can we do?" And I'm like, like there's this whole thing of like every time we have an issue, we have to like reinvent this entire system. And I'm like, things used to work really well. We could just go back to that. And the whole point is like, I know this is so controversial. The person at McDonald's doesn't deserve to get paid the same as the person who's a doctor. It's actually, you're supposed to be a kid, go work at the coffee shops. You're supposed to build yourself up, or
That's
else
what those jobs are for.
the jobs are like honestly to build character.
Right.
They're to get you into the workforce. I would hope you're not like, in your 70s at McDonald's. Like if you are, then like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to get paid whatever they pay. But I don't believe in raising it at all. I think actually we should take it back down so we can take the prices of everything else back down as well.
Right.
I mean, I've never in my life at a job up until 2 years ago, or maybe a year, made more than $15 an hour in my life, ever. And I'm talking like 15-hour days, extremely difficult work, really like good jobs, and I still never made more than that. And that's the thing. Like, it pushed me to be like, okay, I want to get out of this position. What else can I do? I mean, this is just crazy. Literally, cheeseburgers are going to be $9,000. Do you think Democrats, not political figures, believe they are doing the right thing? Actually, yeah, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I think a lot of the time they actually do believe they are doing the right thing. I think by doing the right thing and maybe not doing the difficult thing, you actually do a lot more harm than good. It's the same thing with me. It's like I'm like rough around the edges, but at least I'm being honest instead of just lying like most people.
Well,
Do you see? Yeah, go ahead.
when you were a Democrat, or I guess you associated more with the left, like, did you feel like that was the right thing to do, or did you feel like that was the socially acceptable thing to do? Like, that's what would make you have a better career.
No,
have more
we felt
friends?
like this was like the right thing to do. We felt like we were like, oh yeah, like I said, like, oh, eat the rich, oh, f these big corporations. Like we really thought we were doing something. By the way, we were all like losers getting drunk every night, and like half of them worked in coffee shops. So like I don't know what we thought we were doing to, preserve democracy. But no, we really thought we were like doing the right thing. We thought we were like cool by being like, oh, all cops are racist and like everything's bullshit. And it's like I look back and I'm like, I think the problem is we just didn't know anything. So we thought by going against the grain, that's just immediately, oh, we're on the opposite side, so we're not like them. But I'm like, we didn't know shit. We listened to like what CNN said, and we were like, oh yeah. That's when like I literally used to be one of those people that was like, oh, Trump is racist. This is an embarrassment to the country. And then I was just like, oh, there's a lot worse things that are going on. But no, I think I was like, I think liberalism too, it's this whole thing of like, you're putting yourself on a pedestal. You're like, oh, I'm on the right side of history. Which is funny because they say that shit all the time. And you're like, dude, you would have like literally put me in a camp. You wanted to put me in a camp for not getting a vaccine. You would have like literally been off like SS officers back in the day. And it's just, it's interesting to watch these people. And, they say the party switch and all these things. And, we see that now. Old school Democrats like JFK we talk about now are like, they're like clinically insane. And they're like, they like want war, which is the weirdest thing. Trump doesn't want war. He understands that, we have to have strong relations in other countries. But in general, he really kept us out of it, which I was thankful for, which hopefully we have again. But, I do think in general, sometimes they think they're doing the right thing, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Can you talk on dating in California, what you think about the red pill community? I actually think the red pill community now is like super toxic, and I don't like to associate with them. I think we've had all these shows like Fresh and Fit and Whatever Pod we were talking about.
Right.
Basically, you have these men that I don't even believe are good men. I think a good man would be like having a passion, a job, in an office, taking care of a family. I don't see sitting online like shitting on women and making money off of them as anything positive. In fact, I think it's like made the internet a little psycho. And now when you see like comment sections, they're just like war against women and just the names they call them and everything. It's actually like pretty horrendous to see. I think it's super toxic, and I just don't even, my thing is like I say I red pilled myself, but it's a totally different meaning than what people say now. I think these podcasts are like super, super negative and nothing good has came out of them. But I'm like, dating's funny because it's just like, I think when you're dating, it's just a reflection of who you are. If you're dating shitty, fucked up people, you're probably kind of shitty and fucked up, and you should work on yourself. And other than that, it's like naturally when you do things and you have passion and there's meaning to them, you'll attract good people around you. But I'm like, I don't give dating advice. I'm not fucking, I don't know who's popular gives dating advice.
I'll start my own podcast and give dating
Yeah, I'm
advice.
like, it ain't me. I don't know. I failed for 30 years. I'm finally getting my shit together. So I'm like, I don't know why you'd ask me. How do I feel about Trump's statement on abortion? What was his state? I thought his statement on abortion was actually pretty middle. I think it was just let the state by state.
Yeah, we brought it to the States.
Yeah. What's wrong? Fine.
They're probably talking about like how he sort of prioritized that element of the statement, which is, oh, the whole reason we did it was to bring power back to the states, where before all he talked about was, oh, we got rid of Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's one of those things. I'm like I said, don't care about abortion. I'm like, I think everyone should be able to have one. I don't care. I mean, I would say if it's that big of a deal, I don't know. I guess you're gonna have to move out of your state. But I think in general, it's one of those things. Trump is probably pretty middle, if not extremely liberal on. But of course, he's not gonna say it because he's gonna lose all the psycho right-wing Christians that are just obsessed with abortion. They're just as obsessed with abortion as the crazy left-wing people. And we were talking about that with the OnlyFans chicks, because it's like they're the two same demons on both sides. It's like the only thing liberals care about is abortion, which is a really weird thing to care that much about. But same with Republicans. They won't just let it go. Like, just let them have abortions. Who fucking cares? Literally. Let them, like, naturally, we will come back as a conservative country if we continue to let people on the left mutilate themselves, mutilate their children, and abort all their babies. Who's going to be left? It's literally going to be like right-leaning conservatives. So it's like, what the fuck do I care? Let them do it. I'm not, I don't care about that topic anymore. I'm like, go for it. I've always been pro-choice. I'm never going to change my mind on that. Well, many women are living single, don't want a marriage, and having hookups. Your views. Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. There's not a lot of great pics of women, I guess. There's not a lot of great pics of men either. I was like, I don't know really how to help you guys on this. I'm like, they don't want marriage. I think that's weird. I think the thing is with marriage, it's like, at least try it. I guess if you fail, try again, I guess. Having hookups, well, that's just normal. I think it's normal doing your 20s.
But isn't that like a common stance that women go through certain things and then they just finally sort of say, well, inside they're giving up, but then externally it's sort of like, well, this is my choice. I'm doing this by choice, that I don't really want a man.
Do you think they feel empowered?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think people do that anyway. It's
Yeah.
like when you go through a certain thing and you feel like, I don't really have any other options here. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna take my power back and say, okay, this is my choice now.
Yeah. Do you think that's like real power though?
It's what you need to do to get through the day.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
feel
what it
bad.
is.
I feel like it's almost like both sides have been burned so bad. I think this new wave of like feminism and girl boss movement has just like completely destroyed women. And I think it's like, it's hurt men a lot as well too. I think it's like a little demasculating to be like, yeah, like we don't fucking need you. You're all and they're almost like using men now. But then I think the men are getting so butthurt, they're not stepping up to the plate that women need and want them to. And I think you can still like have a job and career and have a healthy balance. I see like some girls I follow, they're like, it's difficult when I get home to my husband to really like shut that very aggressive girl boss energy off, because it ruins the marriage. And I'm like, yeah,
Absolutely.
which I totally agree with. And I see that. And I'm like, but that's the thing. I'm like, you got to learn to just shut it off then.
So when you make like TikToks and things talking about and promoting, femininity, what kind of responses are you getting from other women?
Usually, I mean, obviously, it's going to be tailored to my following already.
Sure.
So like, it's funny, like obviously like he knows when I like talk about feminism, it goes like crazy viral.
Mhm.
And I think it's just because women are so emotional. And when I talk about it, they feel so like personally attacked. And then the men are kind of annoying and like tune in and they're like, yeah, but it's like, dude, no. This has to do with you, and your shortcomings as well.
Mhm.
So, but I don't know. Like, what do you think I mean, I have a lot of viral videos on it. What are the reactions? I try not to read them. So I don't shit
Honestly,
myself.
I think like I know for YouTube, for example, the comment section on those viral shorts are like, it's most of the comments that stick out are men. So like those are the ones at the top because they're the ones that have the most likes. And they're like yeah, this girl gets it. She's one of the only girls in the world that gets it.
Yeah.
Where have you been my whole life? There's a ring waiting for you in Kansas, like shit
They're
like
kind
that.
of losers.
And they're all like
Kansas.
60-year-old men and stuff, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely say the feminism stuff is really like you said, like men are like, but then they kind of don't realize that they have a
Yeah, they don't realize they're
they have
kind of
a
the problem as well.
yeah, they're definitely part of the problem.
Yeah, you can't just blame it all on women. I mean, it's like all the women I know now, it's like, okay, cool, I'm good looking, I'm successful, and like these are amazing girls. And they're like, dude, there's no point in LA. Like, if you're a guy with money, there's no point in settling down. And if you're a man in California and you have money,
Yeah.
why would you get married? We've kind of taken all that away. But I do see, like, I was even shocked. Someone said like even Dan Bilzerian was coming out trying to be like with one woman, giving more of a conservative take. And I was like, I think people like men will realize that they do want a partner. They do want a loving feminine woman. It's not fun sleeping around and having this bachelor. It's not a fulfilling lifestyle. And they're gonna want to get married and have families. And I'm like, I think it's gonna be the same with all the things we talk about. It's just gonna be like a pendulum. Like it's gonna swing back because people are gonna be like, oh, I'm living like it's kind of a sad, lonely lifestyle, and there's not a lot of meaning in it. And that's, like every healthy, normal man I know, like wants to like have some sort of woman in his life or someone to take care of. And I know they've been burned by a lot. So, that kind of is off putting. But it's funny because I feel like a lot of the comments are guys being like, yeah, and then women being like, you. And it's like, yeah, but like I get it because like I don't even like to hang out with girl boss energy, even as friends. I can't
Right.
imagine even trying to date that. Like even me, for how psycho and aggressive I am, then when I get home and I'm like with my boyfriend, it's like I have to turn it from 1,000 to 0, like immediately. And I see how it's hard. And I get very like obviously emotional and frustrated and all that. So I'm like, I could see how like that would, if I couldn't control that, it would 100% destroy my relationship.
Mm.
And then I'd be, back in like my fuck it girl boss mode. But I'm like, but that's not what makes me happy. I'm the happiest when I get to be soft and feminine and turn all of this off. You know what I mean? To be entertaining. But I mean, I don't know. I just think it's like men and women have to first stop like hating each other. And I don't want to promote or ever go on any podcast at this point. That's just oh yeah, this is a bunch of men
Yeah, because
shitting on women.
there are women podcasts that do that too. Like,
Mhm.
That's what
yeah,
we were talking about too. It's also fucking equally as bad to have women sit around here and be like men ain't shit. It's like
yeah,
what is that? How does anything good come out of that? That's what the frustrating thing is. Nothing good comes out of that. And I'm confused. I'm like, have you guys all been burned this much? Like I've had so many good people in my life. I guess like maybe I'm a bit more lucky to have like a great boyfriend and father and great friends and get to work with great guys. But I'm just like, maybe you guys got to go in the fucking world more.
yeah.
Mm.
And sorry you like went on a shitty date and it didn't go well. But I mean, yeah, I mean, good luck. Dating everywhere is going to be difficult if you have not worked on yourself. And if you're not a healthy, happy person, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So I would say work on being alone first and
Mm.
then go from that. I mean, oh, this is crazy. Public school changing grading scale to make education more equitable. That's obviously like, we can't do that. I mean, we just got to make sure everything's fair across the board. I mean, I've said this a million times. Equal opportunity does not equal equal outcomes. Some people are just genuinely smarter by nature. You're talking men, women, different races, backgrounds, all these different things. And it's just like, we just can't do this because you're going to lower the bar, which Elon Musk was talking about, which is inherently dangerous. It's actually dangerous to do that. We need people doing jobs that are capable. And it's like sometimes it's like I always say like I feel bad for Asians. I feel like Asian people kind of just get shit on in America and like no one gives a fuck about them. Because if school was fair, it would be like 98% Asian and like 2% Indian. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, I don't know, maybe we should try things being fair for a while. And like if people need help, try to help them. Like I understand there's like scholarships for people who can't afford and all this shit. But now it's getting to the point where it's like dangerous. Like I don't want my heart surgeon to be like an equity hire. I'm
Mm.
gonna be like, are you good? Like,
Yeah, that's the problem because education is a global thing. It's not a national thing, and so
yeah,
you're constantly competing against other people. Plus, the other side of it is that education isn't the only measuring stick for success in this world. I mean, there are people who are good at certain things and people are good at other things, and
yeah.
there's a lot. It's more than just school learning. So
Yeah, and school now has become such a joke too. It's like, well, we can't base that much off just the school programs we have. But it's like funny because I like tell people, I'm like, I don't know, like there was a courtroom and it was like 90% women and someone commented and they were like, bro, statistically this isn't even possible. They were like, so we need to fix something. Same with like there was like women crying because it was an all-female flight crew. And I'm like, I don't know. I might book the next flight. I don't know. That's if I'm getting in and I'm like, this is just like female diversity hires and like my life is on the line, I'm like, I'm just gonna take the next flight. If it's statistically not adding up,
That doesn't empower you?
no, I want to I don't want to die. I'm empowered by not dying. Like that's crazy to be like. I mean, did you see the video of the women? They're so
Wait, so you're
Wait.
taking the stance that, these women are not as capable as men in operating a
yeah.
plane? Okay.
Well, she's saying that they had to have gotten there some kind of way, and they couldn't have all been top of the class.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Statistically, it doesn't make sense yet. Maybe in 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, never. But if I'm walking in seeing that, I'm going, something passed through the cracks and I don't like that here because I would like to land safely. Plus, it was like the video was like a bunch of white liberal women shocking crying because they were like, it's the first all-female flight crew. We did it. And it's like, oh, fuck. 1 hour later, they're just scattered in the Appalachian Mountains or something. We did it. I just was like, that's so stupid that you fucking care that much, that being a woman and being able to accomplish something is that big of a deal that it brings you to tears. It literally makes us look a million times dumber. It would be better if you said nothing at all and I knew that woman was just there because she was qualified. It would make me feel better. What's the movie with was it Denzel where oh, that was a great movie. He was like on cocaine and alcohol and still landed that thing perfectly.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, and then the Sully one with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, all these things. I'm like, it's just, I just want who's ever qualified. I don't care what color, woman. It doesn't fucking matter to me. I just want you to be the best at your job. I don't want to be like going in for a surgery that I might die from, and they're like, oh great, bring in the new equity hire. It's like, a guy with one arm. It's just not going to work. I would say, okay, this is the difference between healthy masculine versus toxic and controlling masculine. I mean, it's so funny because when I made a video saying like a lot of women every woman I talk to wants a strong man, independent, a leader and all these things. But I said, yeah, but if you want that, you need to be feminine enough to listen to that man. And I was like, and all the women are like, oh yeah, I'll just listen to him when he's slamming my head into a wall. It's like, dude, once again, you're taking something very factual and you're making it an extreme. No, a healthy man is gonna like have a level of respect where when he talks, you need to listen, because you should trust him in being in control. Obviously, if he's slapping you around, that's a version of being toxic. So maybe don't be with that man. I mean, people. I don't know why people want dating advice. I mean, I feel like
I just groan when I hear that toxic this and that.
yeah, I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know because I'm like, it's so clear when someone's toxic. That I'm like, if you don't have a good gauge of that, it makes me think very poorly of you. You know what I mean? Like you should know if a guy's like screaming and putting his hands on you, and like shocker, if a guy's addicted to porn and cheats on you, maybe you shouldn't marry him or have a kid with him. It's like women need to stop having children with men they are not married to and sleeping with all these men because that is how you will gain a lot of your power back. But that's a whole nother subject that women don't want to hear.
Yeah, it's also one of those things. It's like, if you're with someone, like, regardless if you believe that, like, the woman should follow the man, the woman should listen to the man 100%. Like,
yeah.
If you don't trust what your partner is saying to you, like, if you have this aversion to taking their advice or, being guided by them, like it's probably a sign that like they're not for you. And like subconsciously, like if you're a woman and you don't want to be led by your husband or your boyfriend, it's probably a sign that like you don't trust him internally, right? And that could be a sign to you that he's just like not for you and you need someone else that you feel more drawn to or feel more safe with.
And then the worst part is a lot of that is based on your previous experiences as a woman.
Right.
With another man.
Or whatever, with a father, or just you're
Yes.
bringing all these insecurities in. And it's the same reason why women end up dating like the same kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then they complain about it, but then they keep going to that kind of guy.
And they're repeating the
Right.
mistake over. No, what you said is a fact. That's what I was trying to say in the video. And I was like, first of all, it's first of all, you just baseline, it's a mutual respect. You listen to someone and you respect them. So a lot of relationships now I feel like
Mhm.
don't even have a baseline of respect at all. And then it's like, of course, I assume if you're with someone, you're engaged or you're married, I would be like, I'm trusting you with my life.
Mm.
So I'm going to trust the things you say. And especially as a woman, because I'm so emotional, like I have to go to my boyfriend for everything logical and be like, just do it. I trust you. I trust you with my life, my finances, my dog. I trust you with everything.
Mm.
So it's like, like you said, you're right. These people are like, if you don't trust the man and you're not going to listen to him, why are you with him? You're clearly
Mhm.
with the wrong partner. And that's
Right.
going to manifest into a million different problems. But I'm like, yeah, I think it comes down to like, that's just not your person.
Mhm.
If it was your person, you would have no problem. And of course, a man is like, I tell these women, I'm like, if you're just going to do the girl boss thing and be like, I ain't listening to shit from you, it's like, well, obviously, he's going to go find a woman that is more submissive and that's going to listen. I mean, that's just a fact.
Yeah, and I think women get turned up by that word, that S word you just said.
Submissive? I don't understand
Yeah.
why. I'm not like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be like a boxer or something. Like, I'm fine with being like, I mean, it's the same way I'm like, I know I'm not as strong as you guys. And I don't need to battle you and to defend that. It's just a fact. But what's wrong with being submissive? There's a reason why all these passport bros are going to other countries to find women because they're more submissive,
True.
And it's just like, it's also, women have crazy expectations. There's a program. You can basically put what you want into it and it'll show you the odds of you finding this guy.
Oh, yeah, the
Mm.
percentage of guys like
Yeah.
that.
And most of the time, what these women want, it's like 0.0001%. And you're like, so you should switch, you should switch your beliefs accordingly now because the odds of you finding that are like insanely slim. And also, I think people care too much about obviously money. First of all, there's nothing I hate when people are like, oh, so you're a gold digger. No, you're allowed to like want to set yourself up for a better life.
Right.
I think especially most people when they don't come from money, it is really high to them because they're like, damn, I saw everything I had to go through and struggle through and it sucks. And I think it sucks to also finally earn money and you're like at an older age where it's like you have so much other shit going on, you can't enjoy it. But I'm like, no, women are not gold diggers because they want to be with providers who have money and they want to live in safe areas and,
Mhm.
put their kids in the best schools. That is not a gold digger. It's one thing if you're buying Chanel bags every day, then yes, that's it. But also, men, you should make sure that you're with a woman whose top priority is not a Chanel bag. It is,
Right.
and helping you to become the breadwinner and achieve all these goals and make yourself better. So I'm like I said, but that's both sides of the spectrum. But you're literally right about all of that. I think it comes down to either you are not ready to have something you claim you want, or it's the wrong partner.
Right, because
So
a lot
that's
of people aren't healed, right? Like they're not healed.
Yeah.
no one's healed. I mean, especially in LA, I just feel like we were saying, like a lot of these women are taking trauma from past relationships and they're just dumping it onto this man,
Yeah.
Mm.
which is so unfair. Like I said, maybe if you're dating nonstop shitty people, maybe you're a shitty person and you clearly relate to these people somehow, or I don't know. I know a lot of people in LA. I'm like, damn, you like to be sad.
Mm.
You like to like feel bad about yourself. I don't know why. I don't understand it anymore. I work on myself. It's an everyday thing for the rest of my life. But I'm like, just admit maybe sometimes you just like to feel and be around people.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
well, for people who have that attitude, like to be sad, like to be depressed, it's because it's an effort to be happy, right? It's an effort to put in the work,
Yeah.
get out of that state, and it's so much easier to just sulk. Oh, I
It's
can't do anything about
very natural.
it. Right.
And that's how I was my whole life. I'm like, it's crazy. Like every time I go, it's so funny. My boyfriend's like, I have to have like a happy place, like Happy Gilmore, And I'm like, I literally like, that's what I need because I am so like, I'm like a very naturally high strung, depressed, dark person. So I have to take myself out of it consciously, like every second of every day. Every time I start to have like that negative mood, that negative thought, it's like, okay, set the time aside, go get the matcha, go on the hike, do all these
Mhm.
stupid little things. But it's like also you have to train your brain to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I have a really good life. I'm thankful for a lot of
Right.
things because
Mhm.
it's manifesting. You manifest that negativity and then it just consumes your life. And that's kind of just like, no one wants to be around that. And I kind of noticed too, like when I was like that, all the people around me were like that because all my friends who were happy and successful wouldn't be around people like that.
Yeah, you just
So
drain people when
it's
you're like that.
so
Yeah.
draining. And I feel like what's sad is this promotion of like mental health in America is actually like most people are like that now. I think
Mhm.
there's so much more like that than like happy because honestly, it's true. Being happy takes work 24/7 and it
Mhm.
never ends. There's always more podcasts, more books you can read. There's always cleaner food, better water. There's more exercise. Like it really, you have to turn it off.
Yeah.
And it's a difficult thing to do. And I struggle with it every day. I'm like a very dark person by nature, but also I have a good life and a lot of things to be thankful for. So I pull myself out of it. Ooh, cloud seeding.
Mhm.
It is fun. The funny thing about cloud seeding, the whole point is like we've been told anytime you talk about weather modification or like any of these things,
Oh.
that is like a tinfoil hat wearing statement.
Isn't that how the Matrix started, though?
Dude,
Didn't
anytime
it
you
burn
talk
the sky or
Dude,
something?
but that's the thing. Anytime you talk about these things, everyone's like, conspiracy theorists. Oh, yeah, let me guess. They manipulate and change the weather. And now they're passing laws to be like, no, you can't do this. And I'm like, so wait, how are we passing laws if none of this was real? And I was saying, they've even admitted in clips like on the news that they like manipulate certain things. I'm like, also, it's not natural. It's not natural to have all these chemtrails in the sky. It's not natural to be like, for it to be 88 degrees and then the next like 15 minutes it's raining. We have
Mhm.
seasons for a reason, and that's how farming and all these things have worked, which is very normal and supposed to be like that. And I understand with climate change and all these things, there's effect, but I mean, now this is all coming out, and like even I think like dude, they were saying on a podcast like Prince even made like a song forever ago talking about how like they would spray the sky with stuff and everyone in the neighborhood would be like acting all crazy. I don't know if that's the correct reference, but I was like, it's definitely a thing. So I want to talk about that more because I want to find that clip of the news anchor who like kind of admitted it online.
Admitted to.
She said that they were doing some sort of like modification and she started talking about it, but it's an
Yeah.
old clip. It's very blurry.
Yeah, I mean so I think the name is
I think I even found that on TikTok.
yeah, it's the Santa Ana Watershed Project Authority. I mean, so they admit to
Yeah.
cloud seeding, obviously, because of California and the drought and just getting more water into the area. But there's a lot of people that made videos of like, oh, because there's been so much rain, like in February in San Diego County, like the cloud seeding is the reason why. And that organization came out and they're like, we didn't even do any cloud seeding in that area.
Wow.
So,
Also,
but
it's just
then
like, imagine
it's
working
also
for
one of
that
those things where
organization.
people are like, well, it's us against you, like you're lying. Or what
Well,
else is
I'm like, I wouldn't trust them. I'm like, you
Right.
guys are notorious for lying about a
Mhm.
lot of things. Oh, congrats. We got Lizzo to quit performing. I was looking for that article on the way here and I was trying to find the message of what she said when she was like, you know what? Y'all have won. I'm done. And I was like, that's amazing. We actually bullied her into like getting off of Instagram and not making music, which is kind of amazing. But she
Really?
can't play. She posted like a whole thing that she was like, I'm fucking done. Y'all have like made my life a living hell. I'm like, yeah, but also it's like, it's the fact that you like were like putting your butthole in our faces. It was like not the fact that like we hate you for who you are. It's like you were so fucking loud and obnoxious and like just naked all the time that everyone was like, I kind of fucking hate this and we
Mhm.
kind of fucking hate you.
It's
But
unfortunate because she's talented. Like in
is she?
terms of her sing, like she's a really good singer.
Everybody's good at something, Emily.
Mm.
Come on.
Fine. Is she? I don't know. She has like one song. It was funny. I was eating at Craig's one night, and like I think the owner like walked over to say hi or something. And he was like, I was at a table, and all these people are very successful and professional. And they were like, "Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We got Lizzo here tonight." And I was like, "Oh, is the kitchen gonna be backed up or what?"
Oh my!
And no, I shit you not. Everyone at the table, it looked like I had just committed a hate crime. Everyone at the table was just like, the owner was just like, "What?" Like everyone was like, please never say that again. But anyways, we're gonna wrap it up. We'll be back. We'll have some guests soon, and it'll be the same shit every week. I'm just gonna start wearing sweatpants. This is gonna be a weekly thing. I love you guys. Thank you for subscribing and supporting us.